Hola, bienvenidos otro día más. Vamos a jugar al el Stanley parábola. No sé si habéis jugado, pero es un juego que tiene unos añitos y es una idea de olla de juego. O sea, yo jugué poco, pero jugué en su día, hace muchos años, y es una idea de olla. Entonces quiero probarlo con vosotros, a ver si os gusta y a ver qué tal.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Pausa. Que es día festivo y la he liado pardísima, porque soy idiota.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Vale, tranquilo. Ya directamente. Uf.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ya empezamos a dar órdenes, ¿eh? Le hacemos caso. Venga, a esta le hacemos caso. Derecha, izquierda, va. En la otra, va por culo. Voy a hacerle caso en esta, va. Todo el caso, que quiera. A ver, ¿qué tengo que hacer aquí?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
RIP. Franz. Juego con Franz. Vamos, el despacho del jefe está arriba, ¿no?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Qué bonito, ¿no? Executive Bathroom. No se puede entrar. Tengo que ir al lavabo, no puedo entrar. Hola, jefe.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845. 2. 8. 4. 5.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad,
Al azar,
happened to input the
Totalmente.
correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Hostia, aquí hay... A ver, ¿eh? Un laboratorio de anfetas voy a encontrar yo aquí. A ver. Yo sigo la historia que me cuenta el hombre, ¿eh?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature
Para
of his
pensar por
job.
sí solo, pero si me estás
Why did
diciendo
he
lo que
feel
haga.
this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape, ¿eh? Pero aquí me voy. Nada, continúo. No tengo miedo de nada.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Madre
What
mía.
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Sí, está claro.
Now the monsters jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a
¿Eso qué le ha pasado?
screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to
Fired,
believe it
despedido,
couldn't be
¿no?
true.
¿Es eso?
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Vale, pero ¿y cómo lo hago? Hola. System power. Off totalmente.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Rising chill of uncertainty.
Hay algo.
Was it over?
Es que no veo.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
Sí que se enrolla, ¿eh?
And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
Yo me piro, que den
This
por
was
culo.
exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Oh, qué bonito.
Stanley came to a set of
A la
two
izquierda,
open
pues no me da la
doors.
gana.
He
Me voy
entered
por la
the door.
derecha.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply... But
Lo siento, voy a ir todo recto.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
¿Dónde estoy? Uy, perdón, le he dado sin querer. Don't jump. You jump, claro que sí. Uy, uy,
Look,
uy.
Stanley, I think perhaps I'm asking for her.
For her. Uy, uy, uy,
This is
uy.
it,
Hago
Stanley.
chungo,
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside,
Para dejar
to
que...
let her back into your life.
Her, ¿qué
She's
dices?
been waiting.
Vale, tengo miedo, Uf, está muy oscuro esto, Venga, para adelante. Uy, coño, puto susto,
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly play...
All right.
No me puedo mover.
Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
¡Hostia!
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something.
Es que no me puedo mover.
Come inside.
¿Ves?
Stand
He vuelto a
every second
empezar,
he
tío.
remains here, he's electing to kill himself. How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules, and I tried again.
Por
And
favor,
Stanley
muera.
pushed the button.
Hola.
And I choice to make, no path to follow. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Hostia. Vale, no puedo seguir bajando. Vale, vamos por aquí. Uy, un
But
coche.
Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy.
¡Eh!
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no
Estoy
reason
dando
at
las
all.
vueltas todo el rato,
None of it made any.
I'm flying.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself.
Me, I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
And everything went black. Time for this. So it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
He vuelto a empezar, ¿no? Vale. Volvemos a empezar y hay un montón de papeles en el suelo.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting?
Ah, vale, creo que solo podía ir por aquí.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Pues no. Y si quiero ir al right. Ah, es que solo puedo ir al left. Bueno, pues nada, pues no ir al left, si no me deja ir
Oh,
al...
no.
¡Oh!
No, it's to the right. My mistake.
A ver. No me cabrees, ¿eh?
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
Pues no lo sé, ¿qué estás
It's
pensando?
clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Voy por the way. Bueno, pues vamos por the way.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here
Spoiler.
yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. On the top.
No. Ah, está cerrada, las dos. ¿Ah?
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be...
Vale, por ahí no puedo ir.
Let's find the story.
Hostia. Vale. Por aquí. Otra vez.
It's wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why
No
don't we
podemos
go
hacer
back
nada.
the other direction and see if we missed anything? I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? Place is. I don't
Otra
care
vez
what might
reinicia.
happen this time. I have to restart. Of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Otra vez estamos empezando. Hostia.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have the adventure line? What's it
¿Qué ha
ever
hecho
done
ella?
for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Okay, so I know that... I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean... did we do it? Meantime, if you do happen to have
¿Qué ha sido eso?
or that read
Vale.
mind control facility. Although this passageway...
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed
Porque es una
every
mujer ahora.
bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh.
Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start. How they both wished to be free.
Bueno, ya es empezar, no sé ya por dónde tirar, la verdad. Vamos a dejarlo aquí. Espero que os haya gustado la parábola de Stanley. Ya sabéis, si os ha gustado, es un poco idea de este juego, dale like y suscribíos.